Hi students, today we are just going to discuss the topic from a grammar part. It is active voice and passive voice. What is active voice and passive voice? Active voice always you are using is as a person who is doing an action, just bring that person into the front of that sentence. At the same time, passive voice, it is the before just going to this what it is, we must understand there is no difference in meaning between active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice are same in meaning, but only the difference in its structure. Structure is different, but meaning is same. So here, let's go to the topic. Voice refers to the form of a verb that indicates when a grammatical subject performs the action or is the receiver of the action. When a sentence is written in the active voice, the subject performs the action. In the passive voice, the subject receives the action. In academic writing, it is generally preferred to choose an active verb and pair it with a subject that names the person or thing doing or performing the action. Active verbs are stronger and usually more emphatic than forms of the verb be or verbs in the passive voice. You see here the third line. Look at the third line. This is most important one in this slide, this part. When a sentence is written in the active voice, the subject performs the action. In the passive voice, the subject receives the action. Here, for example, if we are writing something in active voice that has some importance, so we can use the same sentence in passive voice. But normally in academic writing, we are using active voice. Why? Because it is more emphatic and more stronger. Active verbs are more stronger, more emphatic. Here I have given that lines. Active verbs are stronger and usually more emphatic. So while you are writing, keep in your mind that better way to use the sentence is in active voice. Same way in passive voice also we can use, but a little bit difference there in structure. I already told you there is no difference in meaning, only difference in structure. Meaning is same, structure is different. Here you see when a sentence is written in the active voice, the subject performs the action. This is the important thing. This is most significant one in this slide. The subject performs the action. What's the difference? For example, I will tell you. For example, Raju killed a snake. Who is the subject? Raju. What's the subject first? A subject is a person who is doing an action. You remember? Subject is a person who is doing an action. So, in simple way we can define subject as a person who is doing an action, or we can say action doer. Subject is an action doer. A person who is doing something in a sentence, he is a subject. You understand? He is the subject. So subject is action doer. Verb, what is verb? Verb is an action. Verb is an action. I already told you an example. What is that? Raju killed a snake. Raju killed a snake. Here in this example, who killed the snake? It is Raju. So who did that action? It is Raju. So Raju is the subject. What Raju did or what Raju has done, he just killed a snake. So here the killing is the action. Killing is the action. If you are writing, writing is the action. Who is writing? You are writing, so you are the subject. You understand me? This way we are just constructing a sentence. Here the subject comes first. So subject is more important. We are just giving importance to subject in an active voice. In the same way, while we are writing passive voice, what we are doing? We are just bringing this subject into last. Difference is this. Once again, you listen to me very carefully. In active voice, subject comes first. Subject comes first. In passive voice, subject goes to last. You got me? In active voice, subject is the first thing we are using, and in passive voice, we are just taking this subject from the first and just putting into the last of the sentence. This is the first difference that you have to keep in your mind while we are just learning this active voice and passive voice. Okay, so this is what I have given here. When a sentence is written in the active voice, the subject performs the action. Subject performs the action. In the passive voice, what's the difference? In the passive voice, the subject receives the action. It is done by that person. By. Always we are just adding the word by before the subject. Okay. See, and I already told you active voice is very better to use, because in academic writing most of the time we are using active voice. We are not encouraging the using of passive voice. Okay, so this is the example. Active, the award-winning chef prepares. The award-winning chef prepares each meal with loving care. Each meal is prepared with loving care by the award-winning chef. This is the example. We will go to the next slide. You will get the idea how to make active voice and passive voice from the forthcoming slides. In the above examples of an active sentence, the simple subject is chef. Already told you the person who is doing that action here. The chef is doing the action. What action he is doing? He is preparing. He is preparing. So chef is the subject. Preparing is the action. Okay. For example, I am telling you, Raju is reading a book. It is not here. You will listen to my voice. Raju is reading book. Who is doing the action? Raju is doing the action. So he is the subject. What he is doing? He is reading. So this is the verb, subject and verb. Before we are going to learn active voice and passive voice, we must first of all we must understand what subject and what verb is. Without understanding the subject and verb, we cannot understand this active voice and passive voice. So if you have any doubt, please ask me later. Okay. So by the word, we are just using the by before that subject. Okay. Next, so you have to read this slide and go to the next one. Using the auxiliary verb be. What is be? Be is the base form. Most of the time, the students you might have heard or seen this word be, but students are not bothered about what this word is. You see, be is the base form of the auxiliary verb. For example, from be it is deriving what? From be it is deriving is, are, was, were, being, been, and be. Everything is derived from the word. Everything is originated from the word be. Okay, so be is the word in which all other auxiliary verbs from which all other auxiliary verbs have been derived. Okay, here are some examples. He loves me. I am loved. What is the meaning here? He loves me. Some person or a boy just loves me. A girl just loves me. I am loved. What is the difference? The same meaning we are getting here. He loves me. I am loved. I am loved means somebody is loving me. Somebody is loving me. Or I am loved. Okay, this is the difference. Here he comes first. Who is the he? He is the subject, so he comes first here. But here, if you want, you can just add this subject he here just before adding by before the he. For example, how can rewrite this one? I am loved by him. I am loved by him. But just I omitted that he here. The same two way we can use he using he or without using he. But this he will change into him while we are using a passive. That is the difference. Okay. So look at the next one. We took our children to the circus. The children were taken to the circus. Who? By us. By us. I also omitted the we here. It is us if we just transform into passive. A thief stole my money. My money was stolen. We can also use this sentence how my money was stolen by a thief. Meaning is same. This meaning also same. A thief stole my money. Who stole my money? A thief. Then here also the same meaning. My money was stolen. It is already gone. But we did not tell who or which person has taken my money. So this is the difference. Meaning is same, but sentence structure is different. Okay. He remembers his grandmother. His grandmother is remembered. Okay. He is the doing. So he is the doing an action. So he is the subject. And what is he doing? He is remembering. That is verb. She is a condition. His grandmother is remembered. Being remembered. She is being remembered. His grandmother is remembered by him. This way we can just use that one. The woman is pretty. She is pretty woman. Next one here. Verb tenses used in active and passive voice. The following is summary of active and passive forms of all verb tenses. Remember that in active forms, the subject of the sentence is the person or thing that does the action. In passive construction, the verb is performed by someone or something other than the subject. Often the action is done to the subject by someone else. So, as I told you earlier, in active voice, subject is very important. The same way, in passive voice, subject doesn't have any importance. Okay, subject doesn't have any importance. The work is just pointed out. The work is what the action is just pointed out, not the person who is doing that action. Okay, this is the difference. Simple present, present time. Now we are just classifying this one into present, past and future. So what are the difference we are just seeing while we are using this in present, past and future? This is what we are just looking at it now. Simple present. In simple present, base form, you might have studied that the form of simple present is subjective plus verb plus yes. Verb plus yes. That is the form of simple present. That yes is here. Okay, we are just adding a yes with the verb. For example, eat, eats. Eat, eats. Okay, this is that yes. Work, works. Go, goes. That is es. Go, go only, but here we are adding es. Go plus es, goes. Okay, that is es. So yes or es we are adding to create simple present. So what will be the form of passive voice of the simple present verb? See, Professor Brown teaches. That is this is teaches. Professor Brown teaches Sonia. This is the active voice of simple present. Professor Brown. Brown is the name of a person, not the color. You see, Professor Brown teaches Sonia. Sonia is taught by Professor Brown. What the difference you have seen here? Look at the sentence once again. Professor Brown teaches Sonia. Sonia is taught by Professor Brown. Let me tell you, the first difference is this. Who is the subject here? Professor Brown. Brown is the subject. What he has done, he is just teaching. He has taught whom? He has taught Sonia. So Professor Brown is teaching Sonia. Now you see here. Here Sonia comes first. Okay, Sonia comes first. Since this one is verb present verb, that means a little bit clear. If I make it clear, this one is simple present, teaches. This simple present will be here like this. Is taught. Teaches, is taught. So Sonia, the last word Sonia should come here, the first, as a first word in passive voice. You will get this idea. You will get the idea more in the next coming slides. Now don't be worried about this one. You don't be bothered about this one now. You need not to be bothered about this one now. We will have more examples in the next coming slides. Okay. Sonia is taught by Professor Brown. All humans are equal. This one we can write this way also. All humans are created equal. The creation is not here, but we can use because we have become equal because of our creation. We have become equal. Maria eats biryani in the cafe. Biryani is eaten by Maria. Let's go to the next slide. There will have more examples. Present progressive, that means present continuous. Present progressive means present continuous. Here the difference is this: is, am, are plus ing. As you know, in a present continuous tense or in a continuous tense, there will be an ing form always. In a continuous tense, there will be an ing form always. That you should keep in your mind. Ing form will be there in any continuous tense. Whether it is past continuous, whether it is present continuous, whether it is future continuous, no problem. But there should be or there will be an ing form. Okay, so the students are learning. Why are learning here? Because students, not one students, there are one or two or more than two students. The students are learning English. They are learning English. What is the difference? You look at this example, passive voice. English is being learned. So while we are using an ing form, that will become being here. Ing form verb will always be being in passive voice. Okay. So if you see anywhere an ing form of the verb, that should be here being. This one you should keep in your mind. Okay. The students are learning English. Now you just look at this one. The English, as I told you, the English, that is the object here. That should come first in passive voice. English, then how many English? Only one English. So it is, not, was, or were, or are, because only one. Here it is present tense that we use is being learned by students. Ranjusha is making tea. Who is making tea? Ranjusha. So is making present continuous. Tea is being made by Ranjusha. You see is, but here we don't use is. In this way, how we are just deciding whether it is or are, it is based on this word, that is tea. How many teas? Only one tea. Okay, normally this is we are using tea as one, we are counting it as one. So tea is, not teas are, tea is. So this one is important. If it is tea is, if it is teas are. Okay, this way it is transforming. Tea is being made. How we got this word being? As I told you earlier, if it is ing form, there will be a word being. This way you have to understand. It will be very easy for you. Otherwise it will make some confusions in your mind. That's why I use this method to teach you in this way. Tea is being made by Ranjusha. Present perfect next. Present perfect form. You have to read this one and should be very clear about these sentences. And just I am skipping here it now for your kind perusal, for your reading. Active. Here you look at it. Jalil has opened a hotel. A hotel. How we are just transforming this, changing this into passive voice. A hotel. This is the object. So this one we just bring into first. A hotel has been opened. Has been opened by Jalil. By will be there. Without this subject, this Jalil. Without the subject also we can just finish the passive voice. How? A hotel has been opened. Okay, no problem. There is no importance for this subject here. So there is no importance for the subject. So this way also we can use a hotel has been opened. Doesn't have any significance. This subject doesn't have any significance. So we can just omit that word too. Without or with we can write passive voice. Okay. Rashid has offered gifts. Gifts have been offered. What is the difference? Here also has. Here also has. In both sentences you can see the word has. But here it has become has been. Here it has become have been. How? This is the thing that you should remember every time while you are transforming, while you are changing an active voice into passive. What is the difference? Here how we are getting it. Look at this sentence, this hotel, object. Object decides whether it is plural or singular. What is singular and plural? Singular means one in number, and plural means more than two in numbers. This is singular and plural. Boy is one, so it is singular. Boys, more than one boys, so it is plural. This way we are just understanding plural and singular. See, Jalil has opened a hotel. A hotel. How many hotel? Only one hotel. So it has. Always you are using with has with the subject singular. If the subject is plural, we have to use the have. This is the difference. Here you look. Here also, Rashid has offered gifts. What is the difference? Here not one gift. Gifts. So has will become have. Gifts have been. If it is gift, it will be the same way. How this way? How it is? Gift has been. But here gifts. So this will change into have been. You understand? This one you can. I will give this one. This type of examples in one table. So it will be very easy to grasp. Next, present perfect progressive. Present perfect continuous. Here the difference is this: been is the has been or have been ing. Has been or have been ing. Has been or have been. Have been being ed or en. Ed means, for example, with the verb we are using to make the verb past, we are using ed or en. For example, work, worked. Eat, ate, eaten. Eat, ate, eaten. There en. This is the thing what I have given here. Okay. So because of this one also you read. Next, in informal conversation, speakers of English often express habitual behavior in the past using the model would. This is the speaker's behavior in English, or the British people most often using what? Would. Really it is habitual behavior. I would go to mosque. I would go to mosque. That is a habitual behavior. The people who are going to mosque normally say I would go to mosque. Some people are like that. Some people should get a cup of tea at the time of their getting up from the bed. Okay? So that is habitual behavior. So they can say I would drink a cup of tea. This way people are using the word would. The word would. Okay, so here you see active, would base, passive, would be, ed. We would usually eat apples. Apples would be eaten. We have to use be with the word would in passive voice. So wherever you are saying a would, you must use be with the word would. We would usually eat apples. Apples would be eaten by us. This usually is not so much important thing here, because I already told you it shows an habitual action. What? Would. So usually also is an indication of habitual action. So there is no need of using this usually. Again here we know that if there is a would, that is a habitual action. Apples would be eaten by us. Next let's go to the passive progressive. Use the past progressive to indicate ongoing action in the past, or an action continuing through a specific past time. Most of the time we are using was were. In past progressive, the structure of the sentence is was or were. Both we don't use the same time. Either was or were. Ing will be there because it is, I already told you, if it is progressive, it is continuous, there will be ing. In every progressive form, in every continuous form, there will be ing. Whether it is past, present or future, without considering it, irrespective of this tense, we are using ing form. Was were ing. Was were being. Students were watching TV. I already told you, if there is ing form in sentence, there must be a being. Here also, students were watching TV. TV was. Why? Here you see students were, but here it is was. Why? We don't look at the sentence here. We always should look at the word this one. TV. How many TV? Only one TV. So it has become was. If the word it is like this TV is, then it should be it will be here were. TV is were. I think you have understood what I have told you. Okay, next slide. Past perfect. Past perfect form is had plus ed. Father had bought a computer. Computer had been bought by father. Here also you see, if the example is like this, father had bought computers. Father had bought computers. Then what will be here? Computers had been brought by father. There is no change, because in active voice and passive voice the had doesn't have any difference. Okay, the had doesn't have any difference, so we are using had been always. Had been always. Okay, this will not change into has been or have been. Had will become had been. This is the rule of had. That is the rule of past perfect tense while we are changing into passive voice. Okay, future time. Future most time we are using will change into will be. We will arrange, a party will be arranged. We will change into us. Okay, next, let's go to the next one. What is next? See, here this slide is a peculiar one, because I have given the idea of how to create, how to change an active voice into passive voice. See, one by one it will come here. The example is this: Kannan likes apple. See, Kannan likes apple. In this example, if you are asked to transform, if you are asked to change this is an active voice. Why this one is an active voice? Because Kannan, subject is here, it comes first here. So this is, we know that it is active voice. Okay, we are deciding active voice and passive voice just looking at the structure of these sentences. Here the Kannan is the first one, so this is the active voice because subject is here, subject comes first here, so this is an active voice. Then how we can change this active voice into passive voice, that we are going to learn. As I told you earlier, while we are just making or just changing an active voice into passive voice, first we should look at the last word, that is object, last word, this one will come to first. Apples. If it is apple, it will become is or are. This is or are being desired by the object. If it is single, there will be is. If it is plural, then there will be are. Okay, in present tense, only in present tense. This will change into according to the changing of the verbs. Okay, this one is what? Present, simple present. So let's look how the changes happening. Apples, we have just selected the word apples, then that should bring into first, that this apple should bring into first. Next, so we put the apples here. What is next step? Next steps, we have to bring the subject into last. This is the next step. This will be same in everything. Okay, object should be here and subject should be here. Then the changes happening were, the one thing we have to keep in your mind is that before this word, the subject, before this word we have to use by here. Okay, this will also you keep in your mind. Then the next, where the changes happening, where it occurs, here are liked. This is a simple present verb. This verb will change are. Why? How did we get this one here are? It is depending upon this word. You see, apples, since this one is not singular, this one is plural. Since this one is a plural object, we have used here are. Apples are. Apples is not good. We cannot use apples is because apple, not one apple, it is more than two apples, so we are using are. Okay, so in everything this one is the case, it should come here and this one should come here. Okay, only the changes happening here in the middle space, changes happening here. Okay, so next one, he employs a servant. He employs a servant. What will happen here? A servant should come here, object should come here, and a little bit change will be there here. He will become him. Okay, a servant, we have just taken this word a servant, it is coming here, a servant. Okay, a servant, since this one a servants, not servants, then what will be here? Is or are? A servant. You look at this sentence, you don't look at this one here. Every time we have to look at the first sentence, that is first word, that is servant. If it is servants, then it will change. Okay, so only one person here, a servant. So what we have to use? Is or am. Think about it. A servant. What will be next? Is or are. Is or are. Normally it will be is because it is only one. We are using is with the singular one. Okay, a servant. A servant, as I told you earlier, this one will be here by him, no problem. Next, you see a servant is employed, so this one will be changed into past. This present verb will be changed into past. Like which past? Not the second verb. Verb 1, verb 2, verb 3 is there, you know. We need not use, or we are not using the second verb, we are using the third verb, that is V3, that is past participle. Okay, for example, eat, ate, eaten, we have to use eaten here. The same way, work, worked, 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 employ, employee, employed, 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 so employed, the third one. So always use the third form of the verb. Next, my mother washes my clothes. See, what we have to take first? You assume that? Just think about it. Which one we will take first? Clothes or my clothes? No problem. My clothes. Anything you can take. My clothes are washed. Washes. My clothes. Not one clothes. Clothes. That's why we used are here. My clothes are washed by my mother. See? Example, Kannan beats Ravi. How can you change this one? First, what we have to use? We have to just bring this Ravi into first. Ravi. How many Ravi? Only one Ravi. So what we should use? Is or am. Sorry, is or are. Is, because only one Ravi is there. So Ravi is beat. Third form of the word beat is beaten. Ravi is beaten by Kannan. Okay. This way we are using this one. We celebrate the golden jubilee for our school. The golden jubilee of our school is celebrated by us. Okay, these are the examples. I greet the student. The student is greeted by me. The cat kills the rats. The rats are killed. See, rats, not only one rat. Rats are killed by the cat. He writes a letter. How can we change this one? A letter is written by him. How? By a letter. So we use the is. If this one is letters, then we will use are. Letters are. So here only one. A letter is written by him. A letter is written by him. Okay. Next, what? Ravivarma teaches us grammar. It's not my name. I did not use my name because normally the students don't like a person who is teaching grammar. So I just skipped my name here, just omitted my name here, and I just put the name of another person, that is Ravivarma. He teaches you English now. Okay, so Ravivarma teaches us grammar. Ravivarma teaches us grammar. Grammar is taught by Ravivarma to us. Only grammar, not grammars. Grammar is taught by. Teach, taught, taught. Teach, taught, taught. And I just request you to learn at least you have to learn 50 words. 50 words, that means 50 verbs. The three forms of the 50 verbs that are most often we are using in our writing and speaking languages. Okay, so familiar words, you have to learn familiar words, at least 50 familiar words you have to learn. Otherwise it will be very difficult to change this active voice into passive voice. So this is my request to you. After just listening to these voices, after just watching this video, you must go to that task. Let me try. Sometime I will give you some words and you have to just do it for me later on. Okay. Review Amma teaches us grammar. So here taught. Without knowing this, the verb 3 of the teaches is taught. Without knowing this verb, you cannot change the active voice into passive. That's why I asked you to learn the 3 forms of the verbs. She helps the poor. The poor are helped by her. The poor. Normally the singular and plural also same. The poor is helped also. Poor means not only one here, that's why I used her. They kill the enemies. You see, now what is the difference here? Already we used in others previous slide, we used present tense. Now it is past. Killed. The enemies. What is the difference? You check here. In previous slide it was are is. We used are is. But in past tense, what will be? See, were killed. So always look at the verb. Always look at the verb. 2 things you must always keep in your mind while you are just doing the work of transforming the active voice into passive voice. The first thing, we must bring the last word into first. The second thing, we must look at the verb. If it is present, we have to use is or are. If it is past, we have to use were or was. Okay. Then third one, before using it, if this one is singular, only we have to use is or is. If this one is plural, we have to use are in present tense. In past tense, if this one is singular, we must use was. If this one is plural, we must use were. You got me? Are you following me? Listen to it very carefully, and it is simple. You need not bother about this one too much. It is simple and easy way you can just grasp it, learn it. Okay. He wrote a letter. Wrote, not writes. If it is right, it will become is, but it is wrote. So what was written? Past. Okay. Next, Thomson discovered the electrons. What will be here? Can you assume? Were discovered. See, were discovered. A car knocked down the child. A car hit the child. Knocked down means hit the child. The child was knocked down by a car. The pupil gave a grand welcome to the president. The president was given. The president gave, was given. Discovered, were discovered. Knocked down, was knocked down. Okay. Next. Rajan built the big temple of Tanjore. Built, was built. Built. This is the 3 forms. Build. Paint, painted. This picture was. My uncle painted this picture. This picture was painted by my uncle. Why? This one is past. Also we used past here using the was. Okay. Finally, all these things, all these rules I have kept here. See, in one slide, everything is here. If you just look at this one, it will be very easy for you to understand, because here I have given present symbol, and what will be the form of present symbol in passive voice. This one is active voice. All this one, this table, this left side is active voice and the right side is passive voice. How this active voice will change into passive voice? Okay, you see present symbol make, is, am, is, are, made. Present continuous, already told you. If it is ing form, there will be being. Mother is baking a cake. A cake is being baked by mother. Write was written. Was were watching. That will become was being watched. Have has cleaned. I have cleaned my room. My room has been cleaned. My room. Okay. If it is my rooms, what will be? My rooms have been cleaned. Always we have to look at this last word. Past perfect. Past perfect had been, had read, had been read. Okay, will write, will be written. Is are going to, is are going to be. Example is one. He is going to make a speech next week. A speech is going to be made. This one is a different one. I did not tell you about this one. You can just understand it from here. He is going to make a speech. This going to is just showing the future. Next future. A speech is going to be. Is going to, there is no change for these three words. Is going to. But after to, we are using a be here. Is going to be made by him. Okay, so these are the some simple methods what I suggested you, what I shared with you. Now you can once again go to the first slide from the beginning to the end, because it will be very nice for you to learn it once again. Since it is grammar, sometimes some students will have some difficulty while they are just going through it. There is no problem here. It is very easy and very easy to understanding task. Anyway, if you have any doubt, please ask me, and we are just going to wind up the class here. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.